as well. So I have to keep it balanced despite my excitement for Poppins and Gabby being on the same team.
Well, here we go. We're going to be jumping into our first map, as mentioned, ESL Impact Season 7, South America. We're diving on into Anubis, and I think what I found most interesting with the veto is that there's some fairly technical maps in this one. So we're going to have to see both of these teams pull out all the stops, particularly perhaps Messitas as they come up against the absolute giants that are MIBR.
Wonder how proactive Messitas might be over towards the A-bomb site. Very forward positioned with the two women set up, but MIBR will be concentrating their energies in the mid area for the time being. You wonder if it will be a split. We've got great grenades coming in from Gabi to support the team making their way in towards A. She can move in later on if she chooses to, but Flossie has something to say, making a statement early. She'll be dealt with by Danny, who finds two of her own, leaving China and Kiza in a 2-on-3. Julies will come through, though, and as the bomb's getting planted, numbers will be even. Trying to escape now. Danny coming in from the back, the last woman standing. Danny and Kiza around the pillar. So many more bullets, though, but will the spam be enough? It absolutely will be, and Messitas will take the pistol.
Two guns are definitely better than one. And something that I didn't get an opportunity to mention just yet, so I'm going to throw it in there now. This, I don't know if I'd call it a grudge match per se, because it's quite a bit of time that's gone by, but both China and Kiza have actually had stints on MIBR in the past, in the last few years. So, there's kind of that saving face thing of, now you're coming up against the org that you were once a part of and just wanting to prove like, hey, you missed out. And this has been a great way to kick that off. A beautiful double for Flossie, the young gun here. And of course, Kiza to follow it up with 2 kills of her own and to clutch out that round. Best possible start for Messitas. But for MIBR, with that bomb plant, a little bit of extra cash. So they've at least got something to work with.
Yeah, promising start for Messitas. That is how you want to begin your CT side. Short tech pause before we continue. And again, two teams with some different players in them will mean that we might not get the hard counters that we saw in yesterday's South American game on the main broadcast. We saw some really big counter strats on the pistol round, some successful, others not so much. But again, Messitas off to a positive start. See what MIBR choose to do, having planted the bomb. Probably not the end of the aggression in that respect.
I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting the James Sam podcast to kick off so early in the season. But here we are. Unfortunately, yes, some slight tech issues, chat. So we will get back into the game as soon as we possibly can. But I'm really hoping to see a lot out of Flossie today. I think that a big storyline in a lot of our seasons has been about the young guns, right? You think way back to kind of the initial ESL Impact days when Poppins kind of first burst out onto the scene as young as she was, and she kind of continued to be a force to be reckoned with. And that's kind of the thing that we love to see. We see it in the open circuit as well. We've seen similar things with the likes of Donk, right? Even, Monacy, when he first broke out on the scene, obviously now he's a staple, but it's always fun to watch the younger players that break through kind of out of nowhere. So for Flossie, this has been a great way for her to kick off. We're obviously only one round in, but it's definitely one of the things that I'm going to be keeping my eyes on because there's a lot of veteran talent on the server at the moment, so we know what to expect from them. And it's always the dark horses that are going to bring, I think, the most entertainment.
I can see on the ticker, Black Mold versus Nouns. Good luck to Black Mold. I'm a big fan of Mads, actually. Like, as I said before, one of my besties is playing in that team, Knopka. But also, I like the players that she's with. She's subbed for some teams here and there recently. She's been on one team, now she's on this team. But I think Mads is such a solid player. I'm excited to see what they'll do. So that one will hopefully be broadcast also. So that is one to keep an eye on. So both my mates playing on different teams at the same time. I'm excited for this season. Again, so many changes, so many friends as well. You know, if you were watching Impact last season, you would have seen Sevenlicious in the studio with us in the final, towering on the analyst desk, giving us the perspective of somebody who used to be playing in Europe and under Ninjas in Pajamas and now finds herself exported for the second time to North America to play on the team.
Yeah.
No doubt this one will be more successful, at least in terms of what's going on in the background, and she'll have a good opportunity to show what she can do. But again, just one round in here if you're joining us late. Are you a fan of those Stanley Cups? I saw China was, I think they say China actually, or something along those lines. Maybe if they win, we can clarify how we pronounce her name. But she was having a drink from one of those Stanley Cups, which have been popular recently, but I'm still just using a glass. I don't know about you.
I actually do
thermos?
have one. No, I definitely do have one. It really comes in handy. So I had a surgery recently, which you know of, but many people viewing might not. And it affected my ability to like gulp, essentially. So I can't take like if I'm really thirsty, I can't just like down a bottle of water, right? I have to drink really, really slowly. And in the middle of winter, things like coffee get cold. It's a problem. So thermoses have become my best friend, and my dad got me one of those Stanley thermoses, and it has been a game changer. So yes, I am actually a really big fan.
Oh, they do a Stanley thermos. What, with a big straw?
No, so mine has like a little button. So it's got a flap almost that retracts, and when you push the button and then you release the button and it closes. So,
oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's going to be weird, but can you send me a picture of that? I'm really curious what that looks like.
Yeah, absolutely. During halftime, I'll do that. If anybody else wants to do it, or wants to see it, I'll stick it on Twitter. Why not?
Yeah.
You guys can see my really cool Stanley Cup.
It's just it's nice to see keyboards as well. You know,
When you said Stanley Cup, the first thing that I thought of was like the sporting event. I don't know which sporting event has.
Me neither. Is it golf? I don't know.
I don't know. I know the phrase. And when you said it, I was like, oh man, please don't ask me about regular sports. So I was very glad that it turned out to be the actual crockery.
I wonder which came first, the cup or the sports. You know, I have no idea. Great to meet Poppin's parents as well. They're always at the events, and they're such good people, and they bring such great energy to the crowd. It's a wonderful atmosphere that they have around them, so they're very enjoyable to see at events. Huge energy, really awesome stuff. I can't wait to see the rest of this game.
So the Stanley Cup is hockey.
Hockey. Oh yes, hockey. Yeah, what they play in Canada.
Yeah. There you go.
There you go. Yeah, marvelous.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, quite excited to jump in. So for those of you, obviously, we also have another stream going, our community stream, where bounty hunters are playing the Killers, and we should remember the Killers from last season. They had the most insanely cool logo that looks like a little dude holding like a little bottle of tequila holding a knife. It's very, very cool. So that's happening over on Hegemonia's stream. If people want to go and check that one out, I think that they have also basically just started. So we'll keep you updated on what's happening there as and when we get the information. But there you go. More women's CS action happening over on another stream. And finally, we will now jump straight back into our game. Great timing, great segue. And let's see what MIBR do with the money that they now have in their bags.
Yeah, they've gone for the force buy. Like Inferno, I think Anubis is another map where, I mean, this isn't quite a Tech 9 buy, but there is a Tech 9 involved. And you can close down the distances quite quickly on this map, which makes it favorable to have essentially a Tech 9 execute. They can absolutely win rounds, break economies. And you can see that they are heavily stacked with utility, our MIBR. 2 Molotovs and these smoke grenades will be causing all kinds of problems. Interesting scenario from a CT perspective as well. They planted a bomb. You're expecting a force buy in this situation. So got to be really careful about looking for information. Not really poking their heads out anywhere on the CT side. Could be so costly. Someone from B has a look through the bomb site, see if anybody's there. You know, it could cost you the round essentially. So it becomes quite dicey, and that gives the T's the space to abuse the numbers game. They'll be forced forward by that Molotov. Goddess has been dropped in isolation. This is a fantastic start for Messitas, stunting the push and allowing the Lulu to get a little closer. Flossie will disengage now. Just 8 HP for her. She'll surely have to peek second now. Very dicey indeed. These pistols are waiting, but she's done a great job there. Now the frags come through for MIBR and then some. Suddenly, Poppins and Younger make this a 3-on-2. Kiza goes ahead of the smoke. Is anybody going to be watching this? Almost catches Gabby. China will finish off the job, and now Kiza's in a 1-versus-1, drops Poppins. A very expensive round. However, they stop the bomb from being planted, and they keep the clean sheet.
Do you realize that that round, in terms of who got which kills and in what order, was exactly the same as the first round for Messitas? Flossie gets the opening 2, and Kiza has to clutch and get the last 2 kills of the round, and Sheena is somewhere in the middle with a kill of her own. 2 rounds in a row. That's exactly what happened over on the A side. Kind of crazy that just repeats itself. But it's unfortunate for MIBR because after that force, they're back down onto pistols, and now they're just cannon fodder.
Yeah, the CT is very well positioned, at least to cut the numbers down, but China's going to have to try and keep this AK out of the hands of this T side. Goddess secures the plants at the very least. I'll get 1 frag for their money as well, which is good to just keep that pressure going. Always an interesting scenario when you win that second round of only 1 player surviving. If the bomb was planted, I think maybe MIBR would have gone for another force buy based on their opportunity to break the CTs completely. They will get that bomb planted though, which allows the AWP to come out for Younger. So they'll be looking good for their first full buy round.
And another fun little multi-kill there for Kiza, which of course becomes important in that, you know, just farming up cash as much as she could possibly want. And I like the fact that they're kind of extending this bonus as well. Just keep that going. Don't spend too much unnecessarily so that if anything goes awry, you'll still have cash into the next. But Younger, how have you gone and done that?
Wow, it looks like there was a solid push from the CTs, and they have dropped like flies. Maybe going for a riskier play with some of these MP9s. Safe to say it has not worked in their favor. And this will allow MIBR to build their own money quickly, and that will allow them to apply pressure as this half continues. So I think this was a calculated risk from Messitas. I don't expect every round to start this way with the kill feed being lit up so quickly. So this is a potential outcome for them, and they would have known that going into this round. So as bad as it looks, they chose to take the risk. So I'm not too concerned for them just yet, but we'll see what the next round looks like. And if Armcam can hold on to this AK, which would really save them a good chunk of money. If you see China's on literally $0. This 1 saved rifle will go a long way to them having a good buy.
I think they'd still be relatively okay in this. I'll be honest, when this round started, I wasn't looking at the mini-map. I was looking at, you know, the players that we were observing and what they were doing. So I was not expecting it to be that explosive. But Younger kind of spoke about her a little bit at the top of the show. And, of course, just showing that prowess. She is incredible on that AWP. But now Armcam has one in her hands as well. So we'll see now if she can kind of stem that tide a little bit. Yeah, they didn't get that 4 in a row that they would have liked. But there's still an opportunity here to bring back that control.
Lulu forced off mid very early indeed, and Henry's gone the wrong way. That's going to cause a very big problem. There's no time for the CTs to really respond to this, to rotate in time. MIBR have got opportunity. They know there'll be limited numbers on the bomb site. Flossie with the FAMAS now has got to find 2. The smoke's still up to her left-hand side, which gives her opportunity for a 1v1. But when it's against Poppins and she's got an AK, you're probably going to lose. 4 on 3. Now, you have to start, like, this is where you wonder if somebody's going to call this. 3v4 from the Messitas POV. If you push this, you're probably going to lose everything and go on eco. So, save is a consideration, but apparently not for them. That's going to leave Kiza out 1 versus 3, and choices have been taken away. So, I was going to say that in that last round with that fast push from the CTs, there was some info they got from that. Again, it was a calculated risk. They knew they'd be able to buy in the next round, so they went for that risk. They knew the downside of that, but also they got to see how successful that might be. Of course, in future they'd have better weapons, but from what I could see, they probably don't want to run that kind of round against MIBR because with those AKs, they'll probably cut them to ribbons. Again, the timing from MIBR may be catching them off guard. Bit of panic as you see the incendiary hit the wrong wall and go backwards, unable to serve area control. And then with that mistake, MIBR know they have to seize this moment, overwhelm this bomb site, which I think sometimes will shut down the round. The CTs chose to go for it, and that will leave them with not much to show for it once the round is done. The AWP and, well, a hero AWP round for Messitas here in a 3-on-2 situation. You can always win a round with an AWP. But we'll see if they're able to do it on this occasion. A quick look, and one would expect that AWP might rotate to a new position now. Try to surprise these Ts as they identify the pistols around that saved AWP. And again, as they lose position and lose players, the operation may be to save that AWP. 3 plays remaining now. Keys will go and have a look, and the sniper will be lost as well.
Yeah, realistically, I don't think there was too much that we were expecting to come out of this round. Okay, having that AWP could have given them a little bit of a springboard, get a couple of opening picks if possible, and then maybe work off of that. But I mean, MIBR, you know, once they got the guns in their hands, and I'm not really counting the second round, the force after having planted the bomb, it wasn't like a robust buy by any measure. Once they got actual weaponry in their hands, Younger had the AWP in hand, that's when things started to look a little bit more like the terrifying squad that we were expecting to show up today. They're just unstoppable, a force to be reckoned with, cracking open sight so easily with very little resistance, like a hot knife through butter. And then obviously into this round, it's just the anti-eco, very little pushback to be expected. And for Messitas now, money back in hand, able to buy in a little bit here. But I think that there's a moment where you start to realize, okay, this could start to get a little bit scary. They did win those first 3 rounds, and MIBR have fought back so hard and fast, showing very little kind of, like, having no breaks, essentially. So for Messitas, it's about isolating what that next move is going to be and finding a way to slow that down. Now, be that with a bit of counter-aggression of their own, or possibly playing a bit safe, playing a bit more retakey, but they have to figure it out, and they have to figure it out quickly, because MIBR are looking to get a bit of a streak going here.
MIBR not really respecting these CTs whatsoever. Gabby somehow winning that duel versus China, and they will take that B bomb site. Again, this is probably round over, 3 versus 5. I think throwing more at this. Well, okay, so there's two schools of thought here. It might be that they think they're probably not going to be able to save. Like with 5 players alive, they're probably going to get found if they're trying to hide somewhere on this particular map. But with 3 players remaining in no position, not trying to save means more eco rounds, which you're obviously got a much greater chance of losing. So it does make it a lot harder for them on the CT side once they lose that bomb site and they don't just call around and try to hide somewhere. But again, the hunt is very common. It is going to be difficult for them to save. But they'll probably save more than 1 rifle if they do opt for that. Let's see what they... Well, I'm sure we'll see some 5.7s or something, but really we're looking at a pop flash play and a swing. But again, we've seen a very prompt pace from MIBR so far on this T side.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of thinking that, you know, possibly counter-aggression or playing a bit more retakey. Instead, they play 2 on site. And the problem is that MIBR have, like, I mean, they're not going to respect if you're giving space or whatever. They're going to push that. The fact that Gabby just walks straight through a smoke to get that first kill, she doesn't care. She's going to take that space. She's going to take that fight because she's confident that she can win it if there is someone there. And win it, she does. And that is already that first kill. And then I believe it was Danny who came through main. Danny along with one other, playing off of one another to make sure that they get that second kill. And at that point, the entirety of any line of defense on the B site has crumbled. So I think for Messitas, playing on site is going to be difficult because they're going to get potentially overrun so quickly. So if they can't stall it out. They need to play retakey or they need to take aggressive position. And now on this more of an eco round, it looks like the aggressive position is what they're kind of angling for, but they've been spotted out and there's just not much more to be done.
I think Messitas need an AWP. They need an AWP. They need to push through A and find a pick somehow. It's looking extra. I feel like MIBR are so ready for an aggressive CT push by this team, but they need to find a way to pick off a player. But there's a good buddy system going on for MIBR as well, where there's a fair chance of at least a trade if there is an early engagement from the CT side. But I think they've got to get an AWP working. They've got to find a way to get an AWP working on this CT side and make the T's doubt the kind of pace they're pushing at the moment. Although I think they may struggle to successfully find holes in that T side game. Again, AWP's announced his position. Just get it somewhere else. Rotate immediately. Try and find the angle against them. Catch them off guard somewhere else. Oh man, the combo again. Valulu's being compromised with those mollies coming through the window where she can't really rotate off of her position. I think CTs need to take a timeout and figure out how they can support her in that particular position. It might be that they keep maybe two riflers in that mid area, because that is being exploited by MIBR at the moment. This round, yes, has a 3-on-4 in the CT's favor. But that spot is looking quite difficult for Valulu at the moment. MIBR looking to collapse on this B bomb site then, which has China playing point on the site. Oh, Keys had to fall back and keep an eye on a mid rotate. How long can China stay alive for? Not long at all. These mollies are doing God's work for MIBR. Great use in mid, great use on B as well. And once again, it is an awkward retake for the MIBR squad as Flossie is spotted. Tries to keep Poppins entertained. Some information for the CT side. Younger is dropped. Poppins will deal with Flossie though and go to help her teammate. Not in time to save her though. Poppins now looking for that transfer. What a beast. She could see it in her mind's eye. Ready for the peak before the peak even gets there. A 4K for Poppins. And that's why we're excited to see her on MIBR.
Oh, that's heartbreaking for Messitas because it felt like they were just within arm's reach. I think that China dying there was a bit of a rough one because, let's face it, that Molotov, it's pretty standard util, and she had repositioned into that tucked-in corner, I guess not expecting that maybe that piece of utility was going to come through, maybe thinking that her team would have more time to rotate in and assist her. It felt like maybe a little bit of a wrong decision in the moment, and unfortunately she does get caught out, but they're able to stabilize off of Armcom getting two really impactful frags, and at the last possible moment, Poppins just shuts it down. They allowed her to isolate into two 1v1s, and the first one is against a rifler who's very low HP. The second is against an AWP, and unless you get like the sickest no-scope of your life, chances are Poppins is going to win that. So unfortunately, a round that was so close to being winnable is snatched away at the final hurdle. MIBR hit 6, but it is MIBR's T side. So if Messitas can get one more round, then I think that they're in with a fighting chance in the second half.
Great disengagement from Gabby. Thinning the numbers out. 1v3 with Deagle. It's doable. Younger holding the angle and the bomb. As they will reposition. Start to fall away now. A fast rotation from Valulu. Who knew the name Poppins would be synonymous with such violence? 11 frags for Poppins, leading on the server at present. A few other people not far behind though. Danny having a great game as well. Oh, one to watch has 10 frags. Fitting in quite nicely with this new look MIBR. I can't wait to see the greater challenges coming their way as this season develops. I think we're going to have some very exciting games. Top to bottom here in South America. Full buys back for Messitas. We'll start with 3 on B.
Ooh.
Lulu alone on mid for now, but Ease is going to make her way over. So those are the 2 riflers I was looking for. Haven't seen much success there for Armcam. Slower pace then from MIBR. Looking at some area control. Again, they go back towards 3B, so some guesswork here for Messitas. Not easy to get information on Anubis as the CT side. Only 1 molly in the hands of MIBR now. They've been such a problem, especially for Valulu. She's been compromised, isolated by those Molotovs. Staying a little closer to the site this time, and that's allowing a 2-person creep in mid. She gets absolutely domed by Danny, and that leaves Flossie alone looking for a transfer, but it won't be enough. Now, Armcam is pretty close to the bomb site with the AWP. Younger's going to have to fall back, but she won't make it in time, and that's game on for Messitas. Bomb planted, 2 on 3 as Armcam is drops, and these AKs are just too sharp in the hands of MIBR. 8-3.
Oh, the retake attempt was a little bit messy, unfortunately, just kind of running in one at a time. And when the pressure is on like that, and particularly when you're at such a deficit, these small mistakes can get made. I mean, it's not, you know, it's not totally unrealistic or crazy, but it is unfortunate. And of course, a team like MIBR, you give them half a chance, they're going to take advantage of that. Flossie tries her best to continue being a strong anchor. She had some great rounds at the beginning of the half, but in that particular moment, only good for that one, and unfortunately just can't keep that momentum going. One last opportunity here to scrape around to make it 4. MIBR have just, they've got no breaks.
Just a little bit early for the flash. And perhaps a chance for Messitas. Jiggling from Lulu, wondering what the status of mid is. It's been such a problem for the CT squad. Be it AKs, be it mollies. Just feels brittle. Again, there will be that rotation. Fair chance that was heard by the T's as well, so he should have a good idea as to what to expect in this position. Now Younger's allowed to post up with the AWP, and the rifles can focus on the left-hand side. Simple stuff. Look at the swing, though, from the CTs. Goddess and Danny absolutely ready for it. Quick on the trigger finger. 4 on 2 now as Gabby lurks. That's half the information for the squad. Flossie isolated, forced away. Bomb rotating. They know both the CTs are there, and off they go. A quick race to the other side of the map. No defuse kit for these CTs. I think Younger might have some sound cues and a free kill in the water. She knows where Keys is coming from as well. Walking the plank, basically. B-bomb site will feel like a country mile away. Just the sheer presence after that frag kills so much time as well. She has little choice but to run to her demise in this B-bomb site. 9-3, a great half for one team, and that team's MIBR.
Nice pick. Well, a 9-3 half for MIBR. Bit of a slow start in the first 3 rounds, but man, 9 rounds back to back without dropping a single one. They are looking incredibly clean in this first map of the series.
Hoping to see something similar from Messitas once the AK-47s come out, because they were mauled by the Marauders of MIBR in that first half. They will have the opportunity for revenge, but they need a good start, and you can see that China means business. That was a great swinging headshot moving into the bomb site. Gabby will try to find a way in for her squad. Dropping the lurker Flossie. CT's making their way through now. Very tight choke point though, but they managed to get both of them thanks to Younger. 3 on 2 all of a sudden. Nice one shot from Kiza. Dancing now, leaving Poppins alone. 1 versus 2, trying to isolate the fight, but she will be dropped by Armed Cam, and that's a very important W for Messitas.
Pistol Warlords. Messitas will be really happy with at least having won. You know, they won both pistol rounds, and winning that first one gave them a little bit of wiggle room coming into this half. If they hadn't won those pistol rounds, they would be in some serious danger. So having won that one, great stuff for them. And just a quick update for those of you who were curious over on our community stream. Bounty Hunters 11-1 versus the Killers on map 1. So a little bit of a one-sided affair going on there. We'll keep you updated as we know more. But MIBR now, how do they come back into this? I imagine like that.
Feels like Messitas are on the back foot on this map of Anubis. No response to that quick frag from MIBR. Limited info as well. That timing may thwart their execute. Are they going to push through the smoke? Poppins goes fishing and finds 2! Holy potatoes! Nothing doing for Messitas whatsoever. The pre-fire from Poppins, the follow-up. Wow. I think they might just be outclassed on this particular map, the way things are going. I mean, they just turned the lights off, basically, in that round.
Oh, definitely just shut Messitas out. Didn't really give them an opportunity at all. And for a really crazy stat, so at the half, Danny had 13 kills. 10 of them were headshots. Which is like, I mean, headshot percentage is such a dumb stat, but when it's like 13 and 10, it's ridiculous. That, you know, when you're able to get those high impact frags and get those kills quickly, low TTK, it makes all the difference in the world. And now as Messitas try to fight their way back in with Tech 9s, unfortunately, they're just going to get plowed through again. MIBR are going to go up to 11. At least keeping it relatively expensive. If Flossie can get one more, and she does! Can't get any more than that, but that's a decent amount of damage.
MIBR looking like absolute demons. Like, they are looking dangerous AF. Like, oh, my God. Look at just the support ordnance coming through. The positioning, the baiting from from Poppins with the 5-7, only to get 2 of the frags as well in that round prior with the setup they had. Like, this is Oh, Younger's not shy to go for a second look as well. She's got the rifle support there. That's the confidence you want to see. It will be a game of lemmings in this round for Messitas, and a brief one at that. 12-4, a very, very quick map point, excuse me, for MIBR.
Quite literally last chance saloon for Messitas on their own map pick. Unfortunately, it just has not gone the way that they might have hoped it would. And I think you come into a matchup like this realizing that you're coming up against one of the best teams in the entire region. But when it is this one-sided, it can certainly be a little bit disheartening. So they come into this with some semblance of a bye. It's not terrible. There's actually quite a lot to work with here, but they need to leverage that. They need to work it into perfection and somehow get this next round under their belt.
MIBR, it's interesting to compare actually the approach to mid from both squads. MIBR choose to disengage and not lose a player in that position. You could take mid, can't plant the bomb there though. So now they've been given mid and the choke points have been smoked off. What do they do next? You have to note Gabby's position as well. While that charge came in through mid, they took advantage of it for positioning. Now, will this be checked for? Bearing in mind, Gabby's silencer will be poking out, but with the angle she has, who is ever going to look here? No one's coming down the stairs. This could spell disaster for Messitas. I have to wonder if we'll see some triggered discipline from Gabby as well. No sound cues for her just yet, but once these smoke grenades start to come in, there's the first one. Yeah, start to come now. A lot of footsteps as well. That's going to limit the setup. And that's the bombers also. Whoa. That's going to limit the push, which is not having success on the bomb site. He's finally gets a kill, but it's a 2-on-4. The dream is collapsing for Messitas as they walk into Younger. And you won't be walking for long when you do that, trying to trace the kill. But she's got so much more to do. She barely has the time to go and rescue the bomb. She's got to win by elimination, but it will be MIBR who do that. 13-4. Absolute dominance by MIBR.
Such a cheeky play there from Gabby as well. And the crazy part for me is that a smoke blooms at the perfect timing to completely obscure her position. I thought there was even a world where she gets a second kill then. She does eventually get traded out, but the timing on that was just...
Yeah, I think the key to victory on the CT side, at least for Messitas, is the ability to show different looks, to have a plan B as well. It's important to, for example, take mid with multiple people, but you can't always do that. Otherwise, the opponent is just going to rush the site. So you need to have good timing, be able to take your opponent by surprise and try and ruin the pace of MIBR, who are likely to be the pace setters on both sides of this. I think that Messitas might be playing against one of the best teams in the world. And, it does feel early to say that, but the evidence is clear as far as I'm concerned. Pop flash play will not be so successful for the CT side in that mid position. But there's still work that could be done here as Armcam tries to get that last frag onto Poppins. Indeed, she will, making it a 2 versus 3. Bomb heading into the A-bomb site. Smokes are up and bomb is planted. Keezer and Armcam making their way through. Then there will be a trade, but are there too many man on road? Indeed, there are. MIBR will seize the pistol round.
And MIBR, but Younger, doing the most there. 4 kills for her. You can see she's feeling it. She's so happy with how that round went, and with good reason. Beautiful start for MIBR to this map. They're going to be using that to pivot themselves onto a bit of a runaway here. So for Messitas, just got to get through this next round. And just a quick one, shameless plug. For those of you that were interested, picture of my Stanley Cup is on my X, so go check that out if you care.
Poverty round for Messitas. Focusing on the next. Armcam looks to be deploying a pop flash. I don't know if Danny will get caught by it if she does throw one. Surely it's for a burst from these CTs. And again, this is about trying to get 1 kill. I think 2 would be huge. Still no flash. I'm just watching the flash. I'm not even watching the action. Flash won't be required, apparently. Can they rescue the gun as well? It's in the hands of Kiza. Okay, now we've got a problem. Messitas have got something to say about this round. The A-bomb site has been secured, but they have nothing to lose. 2 rifles, a flash, and a smoke grenade. They can isolate fights here, this CT squad. This has suddenly become very interesting indeed. They're running in with no armor, though. Won't stop the bomb from getting planted. The pre-fire is there for Armcam. 3 kills in that round. It's way more than they could have been expecting. That is a huge win for Messitas, despite the round going to MIBR.
Yeah, I mean, I love the way that they play that. They kind of death ball strat it. They manage to get a nice bit of early damage, pick up a couple of guns, and they just keep it expensive, keep chipping away. I mean, there was a world in which they could actually have clutched out that whole round, and that would have been absolutely phenomenal. But, you know, second best scenario for them. Do that bit of damage, force MIBR to have to reinvest, and they come into this round with a little bit more cash themselves to work with, so they've got a really decent buy in terms of weaponry, a little bit of util to play off of. Now, can they capitalize?
So much time on the clock for MIBR to establish presence, control, forcing the CTs away, denies information. This is standard stuff, but it's important stuff. These are things you don't take for granted. This is how you play the T side well. Leave the CTs devoid of information, unsure as to where you are going. Force them to take risks, as you will see. They are seeking information now, and Gabby's angle may be too much for them to deal with. They may even turn around with the execute coming in. Almost draws both of them, but what can Flossie do? 6 HP as the A-bomb site is taken. They know she's there. She's got no flashes to help her teammates with. So she'll move in towards that mid position. A 4-on-4 retake. Flossie will surely have to go first. I don't know that she lasts long with her HP in the red. Now, how much more do they throw at this? Armcam trying to stay alive, trying to run distraction as the rest of Messitas come through. 3-on-2, almost one as Danny is going to get taken down eventually, and now we're into that 1v1. There's no kit for Armcam. There may be one on the floor. She needs to find one, but Poppins will find her first. 3-0 MIBR.
Bit of a weird round. You've got some heavy presence over towards B. You've got one player going fairly aggressively outside of A. That player gets caught out. Bit rough, not the end of the world. Now you have to be in almost full retake mode. And Flossie, who's so low HP, she can play a little bit of a bait, but she swings, she dies, and there's no follow-up whatsoever. And it takes, you know, a few seconds before there's the return swing. So the timing, the coordination on that, there were possibilities, but nothing really came to fruition. And it feels like a lot of, you know, similar themes of what we saw in our first map a little bit earlier on. Hopefully they can start to clean that up. But of course, into this round with very little to actually work with, I'm hoping that Kiza can farm up a little bit with that MP9. But unfortunately, it looks like she might be on the wrong side of the map.
Oh, the gun's just gone too far. I don't think China retrieves that. Not going to risk it because it's more important to have a chance to win the round and still make things more awkward for this squad.
Oof.
Now China's repositioned entirely, but surely she's going to look to her left and be taken out by Younger. Maybe not. All right, then. China is causing problems here. Got to be real careful, though, as there are T's everywhere, unfortunately, for her. So that side of the map has been taken. But again, Messitas with nothing to lose here have a thin chance, which is worth investigating. Rifles to be collected as well. So Poppins won't have much help for the time being. Again, with the transfer, has probably done enough. Take the AK and leave, I reckon. 5 HP is not enough to really do anything else. They're keeping the T economy honest. They're forcing them to spend money. So if the CTs do win a round on MIBR, they will be, in the short term at least, be lacking some of that pressure on that CT economy because of the losses they're taking. So that's something for Messitas to hold on to as they look to their first round here on Ancients.
Yeah, and I think given how close these rounds are, it feels like they're so close to actually being able to win out around here. It feels like they're on the cusp. They're continuing to get ridiculous amounts of damage done, taking away a lot of that cash, as you were saying, and forcing MIBR to have to keep respending, reinvesting, and making it just that little bit more uncomfortable. So now Messitas come into this really robust. AWP in Omcom's hands, which is fantastic. And MIBR very much on a knife's edge here. A win in this round could absolutely turn the tides for Messitas, but it has to be clean. And unfortunately, it's another round where they've kind of left A completely open. It's a full retake scenario. This first kill does not go Messitas' way, and that's going to prove problematic.
Well, that smoke is certainly going to burn time. How good are these positions for a retake? 2 kits on the 4 players. All rotating over towards CT. Gonna give good angles for the T side. Have a look at that push through the smoke as well. Kiza manages to squeeze a kill out of that, no less, and get more information for the team. Look at the urgency here from Messitas. Smokes are up and MIBR are down. That is so daring, but I kind of love it. Rather than waiting for that smoke to go. Oh, are they going to get this defuse in time? It's going to be a close one. Oh, no! Oh, so close on the edge. That is absolutely brutal.
The worst part of that is they came into the round with 2 kits. They didn't. I don't know if Flossie didn't have a kit or if they just weren't able to recover one of the ones on the ground, but they were there. It was possible, and unfortunately you get on the bomb and there's a moment of like, I've got this. It's that split second. I'm sure I've got this. Let's not waste time. I'm just gonna stick it. And they didn't have the time. That is heartbreaking. Flossie drops 4 in that round to bring it so close to a victory, and now what would have put MIBR completely in the economic dumpster has backfired, and Messi now have 1 rifle, an MP9, and not much else.
I want to see your smoke up there too often in this mid position. You wonder if that is maybe some rust that needs to be shaken off. But yes, heartbreak is absolutely the word there. See if Flossie could get anything out from this. That makes this another winnable round then, as the chaos continues here on Ancient. Bomb rotating over to meet with Younger, as Valulu and Flossie find themselves in mid. An AK-47 for Valulu, and Flossie has a kit in this round also. Both players with Kevlar. That's a minimum. They can close this distance. If they head towards ramp, there may be an element of surprise here. Younger starts to look over, but she's so close. Somehow squeezes the frag. But Valulu will make it a 1 versus 1. Importantly, collects the kit. But where is Goddess? There is a smoke for Valulu. If she believes that is the choke point, she's put one on the bomb instead. And here comes Goddess, who wins the duel as well. And there is no luck here for Messitas as they get close, but can't quite close out one of these rounds.
I think that's the hardest part to come to grips with. I mean, how many of these low-buy rounds have been far closer than MIBR would reasonably be comfortable with? And yet, despite that, they're just never able to get over that finish line, even when it comes dangerously close. A 1 versus 1, the slightest bit of HP differentiating, and still cannot close it out. And unfortunately now with MIBR up to 6, Messitas' chances are slowly slipping through their fingers.
Whoop is up for Armcam. China's been a very important player for this squad, urgently making her way to mid, needed more than you could reasonably ask for. On this occasion, she won't get it. Leaving 2 for Messitas once again. The numbers are low for MIBR also. Kiza has to hope that she has right timing and the right angles, as there's over a minute for MIBR. They can wait for a desperate play from these CTs. Younger still holding. As Goddess maybe coming through for the flank now. Got to be careful if she's carrying the bomb. Drop the incendiary instead. There's more lurking going on as well. Younger is dealt with. But Poppins may end up with an angle on arm cam if she's fast enough. Goddess, I think, waiting to combine with her teammate coming in from the back. But, oh, she's just passed. That's the info, though, for Goddess as well. They know the angles to hold. They can disengage as the CTs try and find where they are. Down they go. 7-0 for MIBR.
Incredible presence of mind from MIBR as well. Like, there are very few universes in which you send someone all the way towards A to chase down the AWP player. Like, it's almost a little bit ridiculous watching that happen. Flanks on flanks. And Poppins gets that timing, gets that info, and makes it impossible for Messitas. And it feels like there's nowhere that Messitas can step that MIBR aren't just waiting for them. Another low buy round here, and these have been very, very close leading up to this point, but close at this particular junction no longer really matters. It's got to come down to actual round wins. Can we open up this round with a kill? Nope. This time around, the low buy will not get any success, and it's going to be MIBR going up to 8.
Yeah, the fundamentals for MIBR are very, very solid indeed. And I think that does give them the extra mile in these close situations, which is why they keep winning them, or part of the reason at the very least. Those solid fundamentals, having very few gaps in the game. Team effort. Good frags across the board for the T side as we see a timeout for Messitas. Running out of rounds to lose on this CT side. Figuring out the approach. And again, we said that the CT side will need to show different looks, and we certainly have seen that from Messitas. We've seen very aggressive numbers in that mid position, but again, you also need to pick the right timing. And times where there's been no one on A, MIBR have gone straight in there in the open door. So not much going in their favor at the moment, but perhaps they can turn things around now. China will be the one CT with a kit for this round. Prioritizing the utility to try and control the area. So that utility tells a story. It tells MIBR that there are a lot of CTs holding down that mid position, and they're responding immediately by basically going straight into 8. Smokes are being deployed, and Armcam may soon lose this angle. Messitas playing retake on the A bomb site. However, they don't really have much in the name of utility for this retake. One smoke, 2 flashes. How is this going to pan out for them? Again, they might be playing with a tight net, but they're ready to close that later on. Look at these HGs coming through as well. And again, this is beyond fundamentals. This is just attention to detail that we're seeing here from MIBR. They don't just have a setup for the beginning of the round. They've got their post-plant strats as well. Messitas, again, with their limited utility, going the conservative route now, trying to hold on to these weapons if they can. This is a good call from the CTs.
Try and hold on to those weapons. Okay, so it looks like they'll at least be able to keep a little bit. Maybe? Keep the AWP? Okay. So this is kind of... So with this being MIBR's map pick, obviously you expect them to do well on this map. But it goes a step further, because I was talking about this, I think yesterday at a point where I was saying like Ancient is one of the most favored maps in the pool in South America. I believe it was season 5 where it was the most picked map, and almost every single game had a map of Ancient involved. Like, this is a South American playground, and for a team like MIBR, who have always been favoring it, always been enjoying it, I think it should come as no surprise that they look clinical from start to finish, round after round. So much so that Messitas have gone for a Hail Mary. 2 AWPs here to try to crack something open.
Uh-oh.
Gulp.
Good response from Messitas. Now, can they handle allowing MIBR to exist in mid. Again, MIBR, good users of the clock. So this will probably be uncomfortable for Messitas despite the 5-on-4 advantage. Not having that info. MIBR quite handy with those rifles as well. Oh, they're lining up for China. She'll drop Danny. Poppins is in trouble also. And it's MIBR's turn to drop like flies then with Goddess in the clutch. 1 versus 5, and she'll find 2 very quickly indeed. 30 seconds, she's carrying the bomb. Does she commit to the bomb plant? Indeed, she will. She's going to try and find another jewel, but Armcam has the angle and the frag. Messitas take a step forward.
Amazingly, the Hail Mary works out. Sheena gets 2 kills. And Armcam is able to get 1 as well towards the end of the round there. The double AWP setup comes to fruition. And what I find interesting, so when you're playing a setup like that, you're almost forced to play a little bit more passive. It felt like Messitas, there were times where they wanted to get a little bit more proactive, but very often it had to do with having a lot of presence in a particular area on the map. This time around, they spread out quite nicely, and I think they felt more comfortable to do that because they had so much power in the AWPs on 2 different areas. So doing that gave them a little bit more room to breathe. Now, however, they did lose the 1 AWP. They didn't recover it, and instead they're going back to their kind of mid-control ways. But again, it's a free B site for MIBR. They've run over, gotten that first kill, and the bomb should get planted pretty down easily.
My words. It's a complete wipeout. Tsunami of MIBR players leaving Valulu. Does she go for this? This is the play. This is the only play. She has a kit as well. Oh, well, Goddess has heard the smoke be deployed there. Checked almost everything. That's such a huge round for them as well. Like, you're not gonna, you can't bank on a round like that happening, but it doubled their score, basically. Like, that's an urgent round, so well done for finding a way to win that.
I was really hoping that was going to be a springboard round, that was going to be... Sometimes all it takes is 1 round, right? Sometimes all it takes is that 1 magical moment, and unfortunately, just kind of doesn't seem to be working out that way.
It's a healthy response from MIBR as well. Good spirits. No one's shouting at anyone. Into the B bomb site they go with the numbers as well. Look how they're waiting for the response to come in from these CTs who are chaining the flashes but not making too much progress with it. Danny able to stay alive for now, but there's more ordnance coming her way, and there she goes. 2 CTs remaining as MIBR brutalized Messitas in yet another round. Goddess with the last 2, and it will be 10-4-2. MIBR again miles ahead at halftime.
Still see things in my apartment.
MIBR continue their reign of dominance with a 10-2 under their belts. Messitas now scrambling for a way back in. Last chance saloon here to try and take us to a third map. But will it all be for naught as Goddess opens things up with 2 kills with the dualies?
Trades are coming through. However, Kiza is left alone 1 versus 3. Inviting a duel. Going to get harder and harder to plant this bomb though. And you wonder, oh, no bomb plant. It's going to make it really hard to get a force buy in the next round as well. Just no best option really for Messitas as things get even worse for them immediately in this second half. That bomb plant would have been a lot again. This is a reasonable map for a Tech 9 execute, if you will, but lack of bomb plant, lack of options, lack of hope for round 14. Oh, man. 1 foot through the exits already. Messitas, 2 for 11. Lots of targets for Younger. And the rest of the squad to clean up, and that's exactly what they will do.
This is devastating. Map and series point here for MIBR. Messitas, obviously, I mean, they spent nothing in that last round. Not that they had much to spend, let's be real. But they come into this one now with some sort of a buy. And it's really unfortunate because unless they win this round, we're not going to get to see much of their T side. This is what it all comes down to. This is where that uphill climb has to start. They can't afford to make a foot wrong.
Well-oiled machine. MIBR on Ancient. You see the HGs over B on the mini-map as well. Very comfortable indeed. 3 Messitas players over towards B as Flossie tries to quietly rotate. There's an opening for Messitas, which leaves Goddess with some decisions to make. Do you hold your position and wait for that rotation to come through? There'll be some utility to try and deny some advances from the T side, some bomb plants as well. Gabby looking to swing out, collects one with Younger, finding a second one. She'll follow up with one more, leaving Flossie in the clutch now, fighting for survival. Doesn't know where Poppins is coming from as the pre-fire comes through. Now, she has a minute on the clock. There isn't bomb plant pressure in this scenario. And again, there's so many unknowns for her. And perhaps rotation is the best option. Poppins starting to come through now. Wondering, oh, just as she looks away, I think Poppins might have seen her as well. Either way, Flossie will get the run on a quick bomb plant. Planting for almost everywhere. Poppins makes her way through. Does she play for the beeps now? She could be behind Poppins. Oh, she's just going to hold it. She cares not. She is just simply going to hold it.
What?
Comes off for that last frag. Very close indeed. But it's all MIBR on Ancient and in this series. A 2-0 and a statement made by this new squad.
That is a devastating way for that map to end for Messitas. That round should have been theirs. And I think for Flossie, obviously a younger player, not as